Hi everyone, welcome to day 2 of having the joy of learning a little bit more about me and my experience and training as a clinical psychologist. So as I said in the introduction on Sunday, what I thought I'd talk through today just briefly is some of my work experience and studying that I did from when I started my undergraduate degree when I was 18 right the way through until I started my doctorate. And it will give you kind of a vague idea as to what some of the experiences that you get whenever you're going through the career to become a clinical psychologist, as well as finding out a bit about me as well, because everybody is a little bit different when it comes to these things and the experience that they have. So with regards to my undergraduate degree, obviously it covered a whole range of different topics, as you can imagine. And but I had 3 particular modules that I really loved. One was social psychology, the other was called abnormal psychology, and the third was neuropsychology. And bringing all of those together really helped me learn a lot about human behavior in general. Also, when we struggle more, the kind of things that happens within our psyche and within our brain, and the types of things that, so many of us go through. And the neuropsychology component to me was particularly interesting because it's something that I really hadn't learned much about until that point. And that was learning a lot about our brain and really what makes up our brain and the complexities of that, the different parts of the brain, and where different things that we're able to do, whether that's movement or speech or ability to remember things, where all of that is kind of contained within the brain and how that all communicates together. And all of those together for me provided just a really lovely foundation into the world of psychology. And after that, I did various jobs. I worked as a carer in a load of different roles. And I also, one of the earlier jobs that I had that I really loved was working in an inpatient psychiatric ward with people with chronic schizophrenia. So that was something that I really enjoyed. It was very challenging, but it was something that I really learned a lot from. And the first assistant psychology job that I had, and assistant psychology jobs are really what helps us then get the experience needed to go on to do the doctorate in clinical psychology. So you're working quite heavily under a clinical psychologist with lots and lots of supervision. And my first job, as I said, doing that was with, it was actually in a residential school for young people with autism and learning disabilities. And I really learned so much about the real challenges, young people and adults who experience autism go through in life. And I also learned a lot about the real importance of supporting staff within that environment to provide the best care that they can for the young people that they're trying to help on an absolute daily, 24/7 basis. And from there, I went on to actually work with adults with learning disabilities. I was really lucky in that I got the opportunity and some fantastic supervision to help me learn to provide one-to-one therapy with adults with mild learning disabilities. I also did a lot of diagnostic work at that point in time and ran a range of groups for people with learning disabilities, as well as for families and parents and carers as well. So again, quite a wide array of kind of different experiences, which was fantastic. The last assistant psychology job I had before I went on to do my doctorate was in neuropsychology. It was a pretty heavy job, I won't deny. I spent just over a year there, and I worked with people who had multiple sclerosis, motor neurons disease, brain tumors, pretty bad epilepsy, all of the different types of, health problems that really do come under that, realm, and just saw how, utterly difficult it was for them and their loved ones to deal with the challenges really that come with such issues. I was also, quite ironically really, I had a supervisor who was very much, a big part of his role was to work with people with unexplained medical symptoms. And it's quite interesting because I learned all that then, but in the years that have come since, as well as kind of from science and my own experiences, I've really learned to see, how much more there is to learn within that realm. So that gives you a little bit of an overview of some of my experiences up to my doctorate. It's all just a very kind of brief kind of highlight reel really, but I really hope it's give you a little bit of a sense as to some of the things that you do when you're training to be a clinical psychologist, as well as when you are a clinical psychologist. So please, as always, do leave any questions that you have below, or feel free to contact me via Facebook Messenger, or you can even just give me a ring on 07896 150 292. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. But tune back in tomorrow where you'll find out a little bit more about what the doctorate in clinical psychology involves. So thank you guys for listening again, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.